allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everybody. We have two changes to the agenda. The first change is I'd like to move item 8A, which is recognition of the IT and custodial staff. I'd like to move that up to being 3B, so we can recognize them and let them go early.
Okay.
And the second one is, we need to add under item 10, which is new business, and item A, which is end of year funds with a vote anticipated. So do I have a motion to make those two changes? Thank you, Shannon. Do I have a second? Thank you, Christine. Any discussion on these? All in favor? Great, thank you so much. So we will start with exemplary people, and the first one up is we're going to recognize Sean Serafino. Where is Sean? Oh, there he is. Who is our third grade teacher at Monroe Elementary School. So, Jack, are you going to talk?
Yeah. Sean, you want to come up over here?
Do you want me to come?
Sure.
Okay.
So we're very proud to announce that Sean was given the national, I'll get this right, Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. And this award is administered by the National Science Foundation on behalf of the White House, and it recognizes outstanding teachers for their contributions to teaching of mathematics and science. And each awardee received a citation signed by the President of the United States, a $10,000 award from the National Science Foundation, and the awardees also traveled to Washington, D.C. for an award ceremony, and that was in
The end of June.
End of June. And in addition, J.P. Strzynski, our state legislator, was kind enough to have the General Assembly create a citation recognizing Sean's achievement. And that citation states the following: the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Sean Serafino in recognition of receiving the 2018 Presidential Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. Your outstanding and tireless efforts in the classroom have not gone unnoticed. Our community appreciates all that you do for our children. So we'd like to thank Sean for his talent and dedication, and it's representative of the wonderful staff that we have here in the Monroe Public Schools. So thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah.
All right, our next item under exemplary people is we're going to recognize our IT and custodial staff.
So if our head custodians, and Bill Jarosco and Paul, if you could come right over here to the same area. And first of all, I'd like to thank all these gentlemen for coming out tonight. One of the things that we thought would be really good to do this year is recognize some of the unsung heroes within our organization. Every year, one of the things that happens during the summer is our schools get completely cleaned and maintained. A lot of technology work occurs, and we come back and we have wonderful facilities to return to. And it's interesting, I was talking with Jake earlier today. You know, you spend some time in other districts, and you see that facilities aren't maintained in the same way that these facilities are. When you walk through our schools, they look good, they're clean, they're really in good condition, and it's a credit to these individuals. So I'd just like to introduce them to you, and I'll share just a little bit more about some of the things that happened this summer. So we have Rooker Perkins, who is the head custodian at Stepney Elementary School. We have Dan Krofsick, head custodian at Massac High School. Kevin Ironside, the head custodian at Fawn Hollow. We have Rob Orsino, head custodian at Jockey Hollow. We have Paul Kors, who is our director of technology for the town of Monroe, which includes the Board of Ed. And we have Bill Jarosco, who is our manager of buildings and grounds. And all of these individuals contribute to the quality environment that we have here. Some of the projects that went on over the summer, we had some significant work in Massac this summer with a floor that was torn up just prior to school opening, which gave our new high school principal a little bit of agita, knowing that there's this big hole in the floor 2 weeks before school. But again, it exemplifies the kind of work that these guys do. We had this big hole in the floor 2 weeks before school opened, and within days, I think it was a total of 4 days, the entire thing is closed up, re-tiled, and looks like nothing ever happened. In IT, we added a lot of access points throughout the district. Paul and his guys deployed 120 laptops for Massac High School. Those didn't come in until mid-August. Again, a little bit of excitement there. It's good for Jake this year to get acclimated this way. But the guys pulled this off beautifully. The high school faculty is very happy with the equipment that they have. And then to add to it, 800 Chromebooks being deployed with moving another 800 around the district to redeploy them. So it's a lot of activity that occurs during the summer months, and really all of these guys do a phenomenal job in making this district look and run great. So we wanted to thank all of them for their efforts.
Thank you.
You got one. All right, thank you. And then we'll get Sean back and we'll do one later on. All right, thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we should get the one with Sean now so he can
Want to
leave.
get that?
Yeah.
Sorry, the new superintendent messed that up. You want to come back up, Sean? Yeah.
Hey, working on it.
I'm coming. Sorry.
Yeah, I got on the other side.
Not paying attention, sorry.
It's all right.
One, two. Still in Atlanta. One, two. Nice. Very nice.
Thanks again. Great to see you.
All right, and if anybody likes to stay, they can, but if not, you can leave. We will move on to the report of the chairman. We are going to have introductions and approval of our new student board reps representing Massac High School for this year. Molly Carrero is not here. She served last year. But we have Michelle Antony, who's at the end, and Molly Dock, who's the junior. Michelle, I'm gonna keep saying Melanie because I know her sister well. But Michelle is a senior and Molly is a junior, and the other Molly is also a senior. So do I have a motion to approve our new board reps? Thank you, Jerry. Do I have a second? Thank you, David, I'll take. Any discussion?
2 Mollies?
2 Mollys.
Okay.
3 M's.
3 M's, actually, yeah.
We look forward to hearing your input.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Anything else? All right, hearing none, all in favor? Great, thank you, motion passes. We will move on to our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve? Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Jerry. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda? Thank you very much. We will move on to our reports of our committees and liaisons, and our Massac girls, Molly and Michelle, are up.
Hi, I'm Molly. Like Miss Lane said, I'm the junior representative. Here at Massac, I play soccer and lacrosse, and I'm also part of the student government as an MRA representative.
I'm Michelle, and I'm also part of Student Gov. I'm the treasurer for the class of 2019. I am the senior captain of the tennis team, and in regard to the school year, we've had a pretty smooth start. We have had a couple of hot days, but we've stayed cool with the fans on high. And Dr. Greenwood actually brought us all popsicles for our Hawaiian Day, and we all showcased our school spirit dressing up in Hawaiian wear.
And as was said earlier, Molly Carrero was unable to make it, but she's also captain of the field hockey team and the lacrosse team this year. And she, again, served last year as part of the representative for the Board of Ed.
Great, thank you and welcome. Does anybody have any other committee reports? All right, I have a finance committee report. We met this evening. We talked and discussed insurance and how it's trending so far, and we're still not trending the greatest. When we get to our end of year funds, we are going to request, and we've already talked to the Board of Finance, but we're going to put some of our unexpended funds into our insurance reserve to cover it, to help us out. And we also, we are gonna, have on next Thursday, the 27th, is our first insurance committee meeting, where we're gonna be meeting to look at insurance, for the district, and possibly moving to the partnership plan. And for the end of year funds, like I said, we have, money left over, about 271,000, and we'll talk about that under new business, and what we're gonna do with that and voting on that. Anybody have anything else? All right, hearing none, we will move on to public participation. If you state your name and address, please.
Manaya Friend, 34 Aspen Lane.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Manaya Friend, and I'm a senior on the girls' cross-country team. I just returned from a meet at Weston High School. This meet was initially scheduled to be our first of 2 home meets at Great Hollow Lake. However, the schedule was changed with only a few days' notice. We weren't allowed to host our meet because we didn't have a physical trainer available to be present. When I signed up for cross-country, I paid dues of $250 like all of my other teammates. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that pays for buses, coaches, and physical trainers. Why are we paying for physical trainers if they can't be present at one of our only 2 home meets that multiple schools were planning to attend? Wouldn't it have been much more efficient to hire 1 additional trainer for the day than to divert hundreds of families from 4 or 5 different schools? I noticed that multiple sports, boys JV and freshman soccer and girls JV soccer, have home games today, some of which are at Great Hollow Lake, which is where our meet was supposed to be. Why was a physical trainer available for their game? I also wanted to mention the fact that all sports pay the same amount, and if these dues do pay for buses, cross country only has 6 meets this year, and they require no equipment, while, say, girls varsity soccer, for example, has 18 games and does require equipment. So why do we pay the same amount if we are not even able to have our meets in the scheduled locations? We have 1 more home meet scheduled for October 2nd. I hope you can find a way to organize to have a physical trainer there, even if you have to hire one for just 1 day, and put the money we pay to good use. I hope you can arrange for us to have all of our meets in the proper locations. This is my last year running cross country, and I would like to run my home course at least 1 more time, and hopefully have a senior night. Please consider these ideas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, hearing none, we will move on to the report of the superintendent.
Is someone gonna look into that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So first item we have under the superintendent's report this evening is the review of the fund activity. And Gabby, I'm going to ask you to do that if you would.
Sure. Sorry, I just want to flip to the front page. So the first thing, as Donna mentioned, we did talk about insurance. As you can see, the balance wasn't all that healthy at the end of August. It was actually quite, this is interesting, they don't have the end of August. Anyways, the balance was relatively low, and it's kind of been nerve-wracking. We were at about $289,000 at the end of August. Obviously, we had payroll, so that bumped it up. And we're still looking at things, we're still tracking things. We do have 1 claimant that's hit stop loss. We do have several people that are over the $50,000 mark already, and it is early in the year, but you know, we're still hoping that it's going to turn around. As Donna mentioned, we do have an insurance committee meeting coming up next Thursday to discuss, you know, our plans for the future. We also closed our books. We are returning $271,000 to the town. That's 0.49% of the overall budget from last year. Last year's budget was $55,264,897. So I know some people will probably say 271,000 is a lot, but it's 0.49% of the budget. So I think we did. I think we did okay. We had savings in a couple places. We had some changes in special ed in terms of outplacements, so we saved some money there. We did have some teachers out on maternity leave, which if they choose to extend their maternity leave, they are not paid once they go past a certain point in time. So we had some savings there. So we're hoping to continue to be fiscally conservative. We have our auditors coming in on October 9th and 10th. So that should be, hopefully, it'll be interesting, but it'll be good. It'll be the first year they're auditing the new state financial report. We used to do, I don't know if you recall, we used to do something called the ED001. The state has now changed it. It's much more, I don't want to say it's automated, but it's a little bit more, it's a little easier to use in the sense that you're able to download Excel and then upload Excel into it, as opposed to manually retyping numbers in it. So it'll be interesting to see how the auditors actually do their first audit on this, because it'll be new to them as well. So that's kind of where we are in finance. And then obviously we continue to look at some of our emergency purchases and repairs. As Jack mentioned before, we had the repair to the drains here in the high school, in the main lobby, which was definitely nerve-wracking. So.
And then we have the Saturday morning conversations coming back up. The first one this year is this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. And it's an opportunity for the community to come and talk with the first selectman, the superintendent of schools, and assistant superintendent of schools on any topic at all. It's in the Edith Wheeler Memorial Library. And last year we had done a number of these, and we thought we'd bring them back again this year, and that way community has another way to access all three of us and ask questions about any topic they might be interested in. And there's a schedule in the back of your packet that includes the remainder of the dates for this year with those conversations. Also, the Monroe Courier is going to be running articles that feature each one of the schools. In collaboration with the Courier, we thought this would be a nice way to actually have articles specific to each building. And the schedule is as follows right now. In October, they're going to feature Monroe Elementary School. In November, they're going to feature Massac and Fawn Hollow. And then in January, they're going to feature Stepney L. And then March is Jockey Hollow. So in addition to the other articles that they run about our schools, these will also be something new that we'll be getting out into the paper this year.
All right. You want to talk of the budget timeline?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and then budget timeline. Gabby, do you want to walk everybody through that?
Sure. It's the second to last page of your packs, or at the second to last page in your handouts. Basically, what this is giving you, it's the overall budget timeline. It pretty much explains that in October is really when we internally start doing some heavy lifting on budget numbers. We have about a 6-week timeline to pretty much pull it together and get it done. We're going to try to get you guys a budget right around Thanksgiving, give or take, for you to look at for your pleasure after eating turkey. I don't know yet. It'll really depend on how we put, or it'll be the following week. The first Board of Ed meeting in December will also be the meeting where Jack presents the budget. And then we're proposing a second meeting on December 10th, which will be a budget workshop. If you recall, the past couple of years, we've embedded a workshop in the actual board meeting, and then we've had one additionally scheduled meeting. In looking at the calendar, December 10th, there do not seem to be any concerts or other activities planned according to the district-wide calendar. I mean, there's obviously going to be practices and things like that, but there are no concerts as best we can tell. And then there's the meeting on the 17th, and then on the first meeting in January, which is January 7th, would be when you vote to pass the budget on to the first selectman, because it's due to him by the 9th. And the rest of the dates on there, January 9th, February 8th, February 28th, March 21st, and April 2nd and July 1. Those are all dates by charter as to different deadlines. So there's nothing really that we need to specifically do, except obviously communicate with the First Selectman's office and the Board of Finance when it comes time to their review. And that's really all I know.
Right. Are you all set? Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move on to old business. We don't have any, but I forgot to mention under my chairman's report, so I apologize. We are going to have another workshop on October 29th as a follow-up to our goals and action plans that we had a few months ago with our administrators. We will have it here, and this will be the follow-up with what the work they did over the summer and us coming together to wrap this up and move our new package for the next 3 years forward. So that'll probably be, what, about 6:30?
We could definitely do it at that time.
What
Yeah.
time is good with everybody? 6:30? Is
Yeah,
that
that's all
good?
good.
What's the
Okay.
date?
The 29th. It's an off meeting night for us. And we will meet here and finish that up, and then that'll be able to document, be done, and move forward.
So that's here at Massac at 6:30?
Yes,
Okay.
and we'll do the dinner and stuff, so,
Right, we'll arrange
Yeah.
for dinner.
yep,
And then we'll set up small groups similar to last time
Yeah.
where administrators can interact with board members.
correct. It's the same, pretty much the same format as we did last time. New business is the end of year funds. As Gabby mentioned, we have $271,000. Do you want to walk through the proposal of how we're going to split that up?
Sure. As you recall, when we installed the turf field several years ago, we made a commitment to put aside money, if we had it, to replace the carpet. And the estimate for that is about $400,000. So what we've been trying to do, what we have been doing for the past 2 years, is putting aside $40,000 into a capital reserve fund that's specifically earmarked for carpet replacement. So that in 10 years, when we do have to replace the carpet, we'll actually have the $400,000.
And when we made the turf presentations, that's one of the things we told the public we would do, is
Correct.
put that money aside each year.
Correct. So so the 271, what I would like the board to approve to do is to put $40,000 towards the turf field replacement, $100,000 into the medical reserve, because we're still quite nervous about that, and then the remaining $131,000 to the actual capital reserve for equipment replacement, for unforeseen emergency repairs that go beyond our budget. We do have an aging infrastructure here. I mean, and while it's really well kept and really well maintained, and the custodial staff and the maintenance staff do a great job in fixing things in-house, there are just times when, we can't do it in-house. We don't have the equipment, we don't have, things to drill through concrete, for example. So we do have to hire experts in that. So that's what I would like to do.
All right. Thank you. Do I have a motion to put the $271,000, the breakout as Gabby had mentioned, and send that off to the Board of Finance for final approval and distribution of those funds into those accounts? Thank you, David. Do I have a second? Thank you. Any discussion? So it's $100,000 to the insurance reserve, $40,000 to the earmarked for the turf carpet replacement, and the balance of the 131 just in our 10248A account, which is held on the town's books on their side. All right, hearing none, all in favor? Great, thank you, motion passes. Is there anything else, because we're kind of done with our agenda pretty quickly? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you. All in favor? Well, that was another quick meeting. Unfortunately, when we get to budget season, it's not going to be this quick.
You do. We like the quick ones now, but
Yeah.
this is good.
All right, thank you so much, everybody.